change your mind and transform your life. Hey there, I'm Heather Hakes. Welcome to my channel. This channel is designed to help you live the life you dream about. But before we dive into today's video, I invite you to check out my free video training on how to reprogram your subconscious mind. Again, visit my website, heatherhakes.com, and opt into my free video training. You can also click on the link below in the description box. Be sure you're subscribed to my channel so you're the first to know when new videos drop. And I want to know, where are you watching from? Comment below. All right, let's get to it. Let's dive into today's video. Welcome to today's interview. Today, we are talking about a mental toughness challenge and endurance event. I actually drug my friend Andy Schneider into doing this event with me, so I'll introduce him in just a second. But we're going to share with you our experience from doing David Goggins' 4x4x48 challenge. So Andy, welcome. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, Heather. How are you?
Good. All right, let's give a little background. Number one, I met Andy years ago. I was in high school. We met at the gym. That's back when I lived in Kentucky. So I've literally known you for 2 decades. We used to work out together. But the reason I asked you to join me is because I know you've done other endurance and running events. So if you could give listeners a little background, where do you live and what do you do?
Sure. I live in Edgewood, Kentucky now. I am a superintendent for a general contractor.
And something I asked you before we started recording was, well, one, I wanted to know when you did your first endurance event, because I think it's important for people to realize this wasn't a couch to 48 miles. We both have years of running and doing different experiences. You've done way more crazy things like full Ironmans. And so I definitely want to talk about that, why we do what we do. But first, let me just explain. So David Goggins' 4x4x48 challenge is to run 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours, a total of 48 miles. And I remember when I first came across this last fall, which I'm pretty sure I sent it to you. Hey, have you ever heard of this? And I just read it and I was like, it can't be that hard, 4 miles every 4 hours. And I will say my experience of actually doing it was totally different than it was a little bit humbling. But when I reached out to you last week, literally last Thursday, I reached out. I was like, hey, Andy, do you want to do this with me tomorrow? I'm going to start Friday night at 6 p.m. Mountain. And Andy was running on East Coast. So if I was at 6 p.m., he started at 8 p.m. When I reached out to you on Thursday, hey, do you want to do this with me tomorrow? Why did you say yes?
It's a good question. I think, one, I figured if you were reaching out to me, it means you had no one there doing it with you. And I couldn't let you do it alone. No friend lets another one do some stupid challenge by themselves. And two, I'm always up for a good endurance / mental challenge.
And that's where I've kind of been the last couple months. The last endurance event I did was back in 2019. I ran a marathon, did a triathlon, and a Tough Mudder. And since then, I haven't. I'm active and I go to the gym, but I've been craving an endurance challenge. I think runners, we're a different breed, right? I would say the majority of people hate running, where I think you and it's like our moving meditation. It's something I enjoy. I've been doing it since I was a very young girl. I think at least 8 years old, I would just go out for a run. So I understand we're a different breed, but I think it's also that we love the mental toughness, the discipline, I want to see what I'm capable of. Is that fair?
Yeah. For me, I feel like, some people want to go to a bar and hang out and get drunk and get high. My high's from running, and I enjoy exercise. I enjoy just being that high you get from running and the feel of, just pushing yourself to see what you can do. And like you, I haven't done any type of real race or challenge since I think it was 2019. I know it was before, since COVID, there haven't been really any races or anything to do. So
Yeah.
I think that's probably another reason, when you said, hey, let's do this, I was like, yeah, I need something. I work out, but, and that kind of does it, but there's nothing that really has pushed me in the last couple of years. So um, this was definitely needed just to help conquer the body and the mind.
Yes. Well, and that's why I do physical challenges is 100%. I truly believe, and I love this quote, that whatever the mind can believe, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the body will achieve. And so I do want to get into, we're going to talk about negative self-talk, how we got through it, the different things I did on legs. I want to hear what you did. But I realized it was really important that I planned it a day in advance. There wasn't any time for like real training. I didn't have time to psych myself out. I literally sat down, mapped out what time I was going to start, what time I would end the 12 different legs. I didn't even plan loops. My very first run out, I was like, all right, well, let's see how long it takes to get to 4 miles. And then we just got started. So, and other things I want to talk about, I did this in Denver. It was kind of a weekend opportunity of weather, but I did have anywhere from the coldest was 35 degrees running to the hottest was 75 degrees. So I had that 40-degree swing, but you had it completely different. So I'd love for you to talk about kind of what was your weather and your elements like.
Yeah. So I started, my first run was at 8 o'clock on Friday, PM. I was at work, working. I'd been at work for 4 hours. It was in Indiana. It was low 30s, I think, and a little bit of snow flurries. Nothing major like sticking to the roads, but it was a mix between snow flurries and some drizzle. I think it was between like 10 and 15 mile an hour winds, and it got colder from there as the night went on. The wind just got worse. I think at one point it got to like 17 to 20 mile an hour winds. And those kept up pretty much until yesterday when we finished the challenge. It warmed up a little bit. The sun finally came out yesterday. Saturday evening, I got back to my house in Kentucky, and did my 8 o'clock run on 8 p.m. run on Saturday was when I started running back in Kentucky. It was cold and windy there too. So yeah, it was a lot of cold and windiness going on for 2 days.
Why I think this is important to note. So we were experiencing external elements, and our elements during this race challenge was weather. So you had anywhere from rain, snow, wind. I had hills, wind, extreme weather changes. And I think the whole point there is we're going to come up against challenges and obstacles in life, but the only constant we have is our mindset to get us through, because I'm sure were there points that were like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I even doing this?
100%.
Yeah. How many times did you want to quit, or like those early alarms to be like, nah, I'm just going to go back to bed?
But every time my alarm went off, I was like, this may not be the brightest thing I've ever attempted to do in my life.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, mindset, I got up and did it.
Yeah.
Because in the end, it's mindset. It's mental over physical. So if you mentally tell yourself you're going to do it, your body's going to follow along.
Well, and I think for me, the accountability was huge, because before my first run, I literally announced on like all the different social platforms, I'm going in, I'm going to do this 4x4x48 challenge. So I had the accountability that I already shouted to the world I was doing this. So I didn't want to be a quitter. I had you waking up doing the runs with me, and I didn't want to quit on you because I remember it was our third run. It was my 2 a.m. that first Saturday morning when my alarm went off at 1:45. I was in a complete brain fog. I was like, why is my alarm going off? What is even happening? Oh my gosh, I have to go run 4 miles. What the hell am I doing? If I didn't have you, because I knew you had showed up, because we were texting each other, are you up? Are you with me? Are you going? Are you ready? If I didn't have that, I know that I would have turned my alarm off and gone back to bed. And so I would have only made it 2 runs. That was my experience on that third run.
Yeah, I think the first couple getting up was probably the toughest. Like getting set and being like, because like you ran 4 miles. Okay, well, you and I get up and run 4 miles. I won't say all the time because I've been running 4 miles like once a week for like the last year. And that's all I've really been doing. So that just would have been like a normal day for us. We ran 4 miles today. Okay, no big deal. We're not really into this challenge yet. So if we stop now, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I think after you get up a couple runs into it, then you're like, I'm in it now.
Yeah.
And if you're a competitor, which I know you are, once you get past that third run, fourth run, fifth run, you're like, oh, the shit's going down. I'm in.
Yes.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to finish it. I'm going to crawl through 6 of these runs, but I'm going to crawl and get it done because I'm going to finish it regardless. Because it's, at some point, your mental capacity picks up and your competitiveness kicks in, and you just say, I'm in it, and I'm in it to win it, and I'm going for it, and here we go. Let's get it done.
Yeah. And I would agree, the 4 miles, the distance wasn't so bad because here's the thing, you can run or walk those 4 miles, but part of it's like, well, the faster I get this done, the longer of a break I'll have before the next one. But what I want to know is this is also, it was big on mental and physical fatigue because it was total sleep deprivation. I think I accounted that I slept for sure less than 10 hours over the 2 days. So I think it's just important to know, and I don't remember which run it was, but I had total fog, physical, mental fatigue, and I still persevered. And I think getting through that one, I was like, holy shit, I can do this.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it. So you run every 4 hours. Your run takes about an hour, a little bit less than an hour. We were both between the 40 and 45-minute mark, let's say. Our long runs were around 45 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
So now you're down to 3 hours of sleep, and you have to relax a little bit before you fall asleep. If you took a shower, there's maybe another 20 minutes.
Yep. So
now you're down to 2 hours and 40 minutes of possible sleep. Then you got to wake up before you're 4 hours. So now you're down to 2.5 hours. So you're maxing in between those runs 2.5 hours of sleep at night if you're just sleeping at night. So, I mean, you're looking at, that's 5 hours max during the night of what your normal sleeping cycle. You're cutting that. You normally get like 14 hours of sleep. Is that how much you normally sleep at night?
No, but I am a good solid 8. I'm a good sleeper. And I think that was the frustrating part. I get a good 8 hours. I go to bed around 9, read a little bit. I'm zonked out by 10, up sometime between 5 and 6. So I get about 8 hours every night.
Okay.
But this one, you're right. So the max we could get, and even in the daytime, I read a couple blogs on Thursday. I read a date, in the daytime, try to take some apps. And I tried and I couldn't sleep. And so at that point, I finally hit the wall and I was like, okay, I realize this is about sleep deprivation. I can sleep when it's over. I'm going to sleep so good Sunday afternoon, Sunday night. I was just talking myself into it.
Right. Yeah, I could not sleep at all Saturday afternoon because I was at work. So like Saturday morning, I ran my 8 o'clock morning run, went to work, worked all day, ran my 4 o'clock, went home, went to dinner, ran my 8 o'clock. Then I think got a couple hours of sleep.
Before midnight.
Did my 12 o'clock run,
Yeah.
went back to bed, got up, did my 4 o'clock, went back to bed. So that night I may have got like 7 hours of sleep.
Oh, decent. Okay.
So I may have got a little more sleep that night. But yes, Sunday afternoon, I was laying on the couch watching a basketball game between my 12 p.m. and 4 p.m. run.
The last run.
My last run. I fell asleep watching the basketball game.
Nice.
But I was smart enough to set my alarm for 3:45 to know that if I fell asleep on the couch, that my alarm was going to go off and wake me up. So I had enough time to put my running shoes on, put my running clothes on for my 4 o'clock run. So I didn't miss my last run.
I think what's also important to talk about on this is, I love this saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. How do you complete 48-mile challenge if you're not a normal ultra runner? One step at a time, 1 mile at a time, one leg at a time. And so even after every run, we were texting each other pictures of like, hey, no, I really did it. I really just ran 4 miles. Here was my time. And then I was thinking mentally, I was like, okay, we're 25% there. We're whatever the next percentage was, like 32 or 36% of the way. So each leg, and then I got home and I would check mark off on my sheet. Okay, I did leg 1, I did leg 6, and there were 12 legs during this challenge. So it was also, I tried so hard to be mindful and intentional and be present. Okay, this leg, and I only focused on those 4 miles. And then once it was done, then I would think about the next 4 miles.
Yeah, I was doing the same thing. I had it on my phone, like in my notes on my phone, like you did. I put it all, like the days and all the times I had to run. And then when I was done, I checked off that run.
Yeah.
So I was kind of keeping score, if you would.
Well, and it's a feeling of accomplishment, right? Who doesn't love creating a to-do list and check marking complete, done?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes you feel good. You're working your way through the list.
Yes. Something else I want to talk about. So, and I'll share my experience and then please share yours. Andy, I want you to know that Andy doesn't run with earbuds. He runs no music, no noise. He's just running in nature, where I only 2 out of my 12 runs went with no earbuds. And that was my 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. on Sunday. I just wanted silence. I didn't want to hear, I didn't want to talk to anyone. But other times I was listening to my running playlist from when I ran my marathon. I listened to Motiversity on YouTube, having Joe Rogan and Eric Thomas and different guys yelling in my ear about mindset and you can do this and you fall down and you get back up. And so I was doing that along with other times when when I was battling the negative self-talk. This is hard. I want to quit. What am I doing? Why am I doing this? That's when I was putting in affirmations. And that was one of the runs. I was like, okay, I am a lion. I am strong. I am a finisher. And I was literally just repeating that. And the whole point there was to discipline my mind. It's like having this untamed dog and trying to reel it back in. So I want to hear from you. How did you battle negative self-talk when you were experiencing it?
I think I can't say I had a lot of it. There was, I think, what I say earlier when we were talking, like one of my early morning runs, like was it my 8 a.m. run or something? I said, I felt like I really hit me. And I was like, yeah, this.
Yeah, Sunday. It was that so
Like,
Andy was sharing that he made it 75% of the way, but it wasn't until those last 3 runs that he was kind of like, ugh, just get through it.
yeah, it was like my 8 a.m. run on Sunday. I was running, and for some reason it just hit me, and I was like, this is just stupid. Why am I doing this? Which is typically my thought in most endurance races I do. There's a point in every race that I do when, you hit a halfway point, 3/4 point of the way done, in a marathon, in an Ironman. Apparently in this challenge, it hits me and I'm like, this is dumb. Why am I doing this? And then the next moment it's because you can do this. And your mental capacity has to be stronger than your physical will.
Yes.
For you to just mentally tell yourself that you mentally can do it, because your mental state of mind is stronger than your body, and it will power your body to push yourself through the finish line. And then the next few runs, I was like, yeah, this isn't that bad. I can do this. I got it now. It's just, you hit a wall, and there's a wall. And if you can talk yourself through that wall you hit, you can get through it. And you just mentally got to be tough enough to do it.
But let's talk about that wall, because we're not literally only talking about running. This is a metaphor for life. When you come up against a challenge, an obstacle, when things get hard, it is easy to want to quit and go back to your comfort zone. But for me, this was about, you have to master your body telling you, no, I don't want to. It's too hard. I'll do it tomorrow or start next week. I'm not capable. So we all hit those walls in life. And that's why the mindset is so important, to talk yourself back into it, to say, no, we're doing this, to keep going. Right.
Oh yeah. Life is full of just shitty situations and stuff in life that you just don't want to deal with. And that's so easy to just stay in that comfort zone.
Yeah.
And to not get out of the comfort, as you like to say. um there's a lot of shit in life that people don't want to deal with and find comfort, can just say, I'm okay here, I'm okay there, my job's fine,
This will do.
my relationship's fine, it'll do, I can live with this, I can live with that. But if it's not floating your boat, shit's gonna sink, and it's not gonna fill your cup up. Then you mentally got to prepare yourself, mentally push yourself through that, and get your mind right. You can work through it and just conquer whatever problem there is in your life. And just, it's not comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, this run wasn't comfortable. Other shit in life is way more uncomfortable right now than this run. And, if you set your mind right, you can get through whatever it is. It could be the slightest gleam of hope. And if you that's all you got to hold on to. Just hold on to that slightest gleam of hope and use that as your positive mental outlook and your bright spot, and just hold on to that and mentally that will help push you through, and you'll just get mentally stronger and stronger. And each day that will just help you propel yourself. It's all about mindset.
I have to share, this takes me back to, I had like this visual flashback. One of my hardest runs was Saturday afternoon. It was really windy. It was 75 degrees. So the sun's beating on me. It's fucking windy. I am tired. I am over it. And how I got through that one, it was definitely some stop and go. But I just was like, okay, get to the next stop sign, get to the next street, get to the next intersection. And that was my only focus. And that's when I really realized is, to keep going, to set those small measurable tasks, goals. For me, it was a stop sign, or get Heather one more block, and then you can walk a little bit, one more block, get to that truck, get to that. And so it is just this, I think for me, ultimately, my biggest takeaway is I had to dig deep. It came to pure will and determination to finish, and really that mental self-discipline.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it takes. It's sometimes you just gotta be like, hey, there's a tree up there. I'm gonna run to that tree. And when I make it that tree, you make it the tree, and then you're like, that wasn't that bad. Right. Oh, look, a mailbox. Oh, I'm gonna run to that mailbox. Oh, there's a piece of garbage on the street. I'm gonna run to that piece of garbage laying there. And then next thing you know, you're at 4 miles and you're like, that wasn't near as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Right.
Because your mind wants to tell you, your body wants to tell you that it can't do it. But your mind, if you dig deep enough in your mind can get it done. It's in there. You just have to find it. You have to train it and dig deep inside there and know that you're tough enough to do it. Mentally, you're tough enough to do it. And you just have to, it's in there. It's in everybody. It's just it's if they want to explore it and if they want to find it.
Yeah. Something else I love that Goggins shares in his book, Can't Hurt Me, is about the cookie jar. And what he says is that we're all only showing up 40% of our capacity, what we're capable of doing. And that did hit me on one of the runs. And so, if that's true, if we're only showing up 40% of what we're actually capable of, I want to invite the listeners to think of one thing to challenge yourself, to get yourself out of your comfort zone, to push yourself. Maybe that's to go run a 5K. Maybe it's to write your first blog. Maybe it's to, whatever your thing may be. But when you push yourself out of the comfort zone, I think what we've experienced is, number one, oh, it wasn't that bad. Number two, you build this confidence and this new mindset of, holy shit, if I can do that, what else can I do? And so for me, it's not so much about up leveling, but just realizing that I don't want mediocrity and I'm done playing small.
Yeah, absolutely. I think anybody and everybody has it in them, go open a cookie jar. Like David says, go get a cookie out of it. You'll be amazed what you can pull off if you get outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Because life is full of adventure and amazement if you want to try and just get outside of your comfort zone. There's so much that you can do if you just mentally put your mind to it.
So now I'm going to share with you, I think, my key takeaways from this challenge, and then I want to hear yours. So my key takeaways were accountability is huge. So if I didn't have you doing that with me virtually, and had I not announced it to the world, it's easy to talk yourself out of things. So accountability was big for me. Number two was I kept it really freaking simple. I stayed home. I made that list. I had nutrition and hydration things on the counter, and I I stayed present as well. And so I think the final takeaway for me is that if I can run 48 miles in, well, it was actually less than 48 hours, then what can't I do? So I want to hear from you. What were your takeaways from the race, and would you do it again?
It was about 45 hours. I think we completed it.
Yep.
So props on that. We definitely kicked its butt. Would I do it again? Only somebody challenged me to do it, because I don't normally turn down challenges. There's nothing wrong with a good challenge. Not anytime soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not going to do it tomorrow, I can tell you that. My takeaways from it, what did I learn from it? Physically hurts a lot physically, but I'm still mentally tough.
Yeah.
And the mental game is huge. And mentally, I feel like I keep saying mentally on everything, but in the long run, mentally, your mental toughness will get you through it. And it got me through it again, as it does most endurance challenges that I do in my life, and most other things in life that are hard in life. Your mental capacity and mindset will get you through it. So I think just it was a good test for the mental part of life. So thanks for the challenge, because it definitely was something I needed. So
I will concur, because I don't think we didn't talk a lot about the pain. And even, I mean, I was diligent rolling out. I had my massage gun, taking Epsom salt baths. I was taking Advil, stretching. And I mean, it is pain. And even today, I can walk downstairs, thank goodness, but I still have really bad knee pain. But I also talked myself out of that too. I mean, there were runs where I was just every step hurt, but I was telling myself pain is temporary. This is temporary. And again, I think it is that whole your inner dialogue and your self-talk will get you through any challenge and obstacle if you choose.
yeah, the pain sucked. My right knee's worse than my left knee. And during the runs, I could feel like my right knee catching. Like you could almost hear, some steps I could hear like the crunching in my knee. And then my left knee started hurting. And then my left foot started hurting. And today, when I got out of bed, I almost hit the ground, because when I put weight on my left knee, it didn't like it. And so my left knee, foot, my arch of my left foot hurts. So yeah, there's a lot of pain that goes along with it. Of course, you and I had talked earlier, neither one of us have really put a lot of miles in lately. So someone who's put more miles in may not hurt as bad,
Yeah.
but we both work out daily.
Yeah.
We're in the gym daily. So, that helps out someone who's been sitting on the couch and is going to say, oh, I'm going to go do this challenge. I would advise some moderation into running before putting in this challenge. But yeah, it's going to beat you up for sure.
But it's possible. And so if we haven't talked you out of it yet, if anybody is looking into doing the 4x4x48, or even go run, a 5K, 10K, half marathon, whatever it may be, to challenge yourself, I think, the mind game is the most important part of all of this, because you can do anything you put your mind to.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do it for sure.
Well, Andy, thank you for joining me and doing it virtually, because I totally would give you a high five in person. But I appreciate, thank you for joining me on this journey, all 48 miles, going through the discomfort and saying yes.
Yeah, not a problem. It was the most I can say. It was enjoyable. It was enjoyable. It had all the pain and it was enjoyable.
Thanks for watching today's video. I want to know, what was your biggest takeaway? Comment below and let me know. If you liked this video and it resonated, give me a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you're the first to know when new videos drop. I'll catch you on the next video.